cane?
My cane is beautiful. My cane's got a blinged handle, which feels like braille, and it's makes it different, and it folds, which is really good. But these days, mostly it's used an extended version thing with a. Don't say that. It's got a ball on the end so that it doesn't get caught in cracks, which is really good, and it's my chief mobility accessory, and it's also a fashion statement.
So how long have you been using the white cane?
How long have I been using it? Properly, I carried it around for many years, and I bet I've been using it, and now I wouldn't go without it for about the last maybe 5-6 years.
And it's your best friend?
It's my very best friend. It opens doors for me. I'm the queen of the Waikanae footpaths. People come towards me, who I don't see till I get up really close. In the meantime, they've pulled their dog or their pushchair or their whatever aside for me. Even the people in the mobility scooters get out of my way. But no, it's absolutely amazing. I think I didn't want to use one originally because I felt like it made you different and people kind of didn't want to be near you. Now I realise that's just not true. People are so helpful if they see you with a white stick. Most people know what it means, and they're more helpful than they would be if you just blundered along like I used to, not being able to see properly and not being able to get myself safely around.
And do you get many people ask you what it's for?
Yes, because I don't look blind. I don't know what people's interpretation of blind is. I've got a pretty good idea really. But because I don't look what people think of as a blind person looks like, especially if I've got it folded, people have no idea what it's for. But people do say, why have you got that white stick? And a friend of mine actually, somebody thought she did Nordic walking with her one white stick. It's a good way to educate people as to what the white stick's for. And for me mostly it's to let people know I can't see, but it's also for me it's good for if I have to go downstairs to see what the depth of them is, because I've got no depth perception. And crossing the road, should I step out in front of, God forbid, an electric car or a bicycle, they see my white stick and realise why I'm doing it, that it's not that I'm trying to be smart and get across the road. It's because I didn't see them coming. So it's been a lifesaver many times. Yeah.
Would you say that would be the best aid that you have, or the best help that you've had from Blind Low Vision New Zealand?
Yes, I would. When they first gave it to me, I said to the staff member at the foundation, I wish there was something that the bus drivers recognised. And he whipped out an identification cane, and I thought, no, that's not what I want. And so for a long, long time, I wouldn't use it. But now I would, as I said, I wouldn't be without it. Absolutely, yes.
And have you had other aids or help from Blind Low Vision New Zealand that you would recommend to other people?
Yeah, I've had many aids actually. The CCTV, which I use for reading, is fantastic, and the foundation hires them out to you, or you can buy your own. They are just wonderful. It enables you to be independent, read your own bills, write letters, write cheques for as long as they're going to last. It's absolutely amazing, because people do things in large print, they think, and they make it 16 font. For me it needs to be about 48, so 16 doesn't really cut the mustard. But yeah, I've got that pen friend, which is another helpful instrument that the foundation, you can buy from the foundation, and that's really good for labelling CDs, DVDs. If you're a cook, spices, really helpful for all sorts of things. And then they've got a zillion other little things like the bumps you can have on bits of equipment in your kitchen, your laundry, signature guides, which are fantastic. Saves a lot of embarrassment when you're trying to sign things. I think all the people in the bank should have one. So there's many, many things that the foundation have. And you just need to ask or tell somebody that you've got a need, and they will be able to tell you what's available for you to use that can help you.
And Gail, would you like to talk a little bit? I know you take Keep Fit. in a Braille house in Wellington, a Keep Fit class. Would you like to just share a little bit about what the people there, the fabulous atmosphere, but what the people there get from attending a blindness Keep Fit class?
Yeah, I actually used to run a gym back in the day when I could see a whole lot more than I can now, and for people that can't see, in a group session, it's too hard. You can't see what the instructor's doing, and so with this group in Wellington, it's a social thing. I think half of them come for the cup of teas more than the Keep Fit, but it's a wonderful social group where they don't have to excuse themselves or feel different from the rest. They help each other, those that can see a bit more help those that can see nothing or a bit less, and it's just a really good, you need to exercise, it's good for you anyway, and a lot of people don't get to exercise because they don't use their white stick to go out and about, or they don't they don't feel safe going out and about. So this is a good, safe place for them to just have a good time with other blind people and not feel different. They're just all accepted, and it's just, I can't explain how good it is. I went back Wednesday after a few weeks of not doing it because of the lockdown, and I travelled 2 hours to get there, and I was thinking, oh God, it was raining like anything. And I got in there and I hear them all chatting, and it's just a cool group of people.
Would you like to elaborate on one of the young ladies where English was a second language, and she came with her mother, and just how she's progressed?
Oh, she's amazing. She's from Vietnam, and she spoke no English. Mum's English wasn't great, but there's also an interpreter, so there were 3 of them. So the interpreter was telling the mum what I was saying in English, and then the mum was telling the daughter what I was saying, and she started off really shy, head down, didn't speak, and then gradually, it took a while, but gradually, and Mum got right into it. Mum was enjoying it, and so I'm sure she was encouraging her daughter. But eventually, the interpreter was able to leave them, and I actually introduced her to the white cane as well, my one, and she felt the bumps on it, and Mum was explaining how it was, and now she uses a white cane and is getting around independently. So it's a win-win. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Often it's peer. You'd recommend peer review and peer support of other people.
Yeah, because you everybody wants to be like fit in, and when you're with a group, you don't want to spend all your life just with blind people, but when you are with other blind people, you feel more I don't know what's the word. I was going to say normal, but that's not really the word, is it? Accepted. You don't have to explain yourself. Like with the white cane, I know in my guilty days when I didn't use mine, I loved it when I was meeting somebody that had one, because I knew I could find them. And I used to think, I'm glad she uses a cane because I'll be able to see the white stick. And now I feel bad about that, but anyway. But I do have 2 friends, and we get called the 3 blind mice, and we get around, and I think we're a great example of it's fine, but you do feel it is different when you're with a group of other people as to being on your own. But as the more you use your white cane, the more you just get used to. That's just how it is for you. And I met a young woman up in Auckland, and she didn't. I said, "Why don't you use a cane?" And she said, "Oh, I use my husband's arm." And I said, "But he's not here." I said, "Here, try my stick. See how you go." And she started smiling, and she said, "This is the first time I've walked with my head up." She obviously didn't trust her husband, with my head up for like 3 years, and she was off going back down to Nelson and getting a cane. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's just one example of how it is. Now, just on a personal level, Gail, you don't fit what we often think of as the normal for a blind person. You quite openly, you've got your false eyelashes and your nails.
Excuse me, eyelash extensions.
Oh, sorry, eyelash extensions. Your nails. You like to fling your nails.
Yeah.
The hair is done, etc., etc. You're always made up. You've got. So I know you can't see your face in the mirror. So in your opinion, I mean, there's no excuse for blind people to look like they've got dressed out of a rubbish bag, and they can still be well put together, but it comes through peer influence.
To a degree, I think I think people who are totally blind from birth need obviously family family, I guess, to guide them along the way. But for the rest of us, who are the majority, peer support, but also, you go into a dress shop, you can ask the people in the dress shop, can you find me clothes that suit me? You go to your hairdresser, can you give me a nice simple hairdo that I can easily manage myself? You don't have to get your nails and your lashes done, but that certainly helps. But you don't have to not be clean and neat and tidy and presentable because you can't see. I don't think. It's me.
Well, I think that's brilliant. Kerry?